In today's lesson, I am going to show you an easy way for you to remember 20 phrasal verbs that we use in the morning. That's right, 20 phrasal verbs that we use in the morning. Let's go. Today's lesson is all about phrasal verbs. A phrasal verb is going to be a two-word verb. Sometimes it's 3 words. It could be a combination of a verb and a preposition. It could be a verb and an adjective, verb and an adverb. But it's basically 2 words that becomes a verb. We call these phrasal verbs. And in today's lesson, we are going to focus on your morning routine. All right, so every morning we have a routine. Everybody has a routine. There are things that we all do. Now, my routine might be a little bit different from your routine. Your routine might be a little different from your friend's routine, but there will also be similar things that we do. Today's lesson, I'm going to make it really, really easy for you to remember. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a photo on the screen. I'll probably put the photo somewhere next to me on the screen. And after I put the photo up there, we'll look at it and we'll go over all of the phrasal verbs that we see that are in this picture. All right, so I'm going to put a picture. This will really help you remember the phrasal verbs. It's a great tool. We always remember things a little bit easier when we have a visual aid, something to help us where we can see the language. All right, so we're going to go over 20 of these. Let's go. Okay, so let's look at the first picture, which we'll see right here. Now, this first picture, we can see, what do you see? I see a person who's in bed. They're reaching for their alarm clock. You know, this is morning, right? This is probably, I think everybody has experienced this. I want you to imagine it's Monday morning. The alarm clock is ringing. What are the phrasal verbs we see here? Well, the first one that I see is wake up. Wake up. So when we are sleeping, when our eyes open, that is wake up. All right, so he is waking up. All right, the other one I see is get up. Now, wake up and get up, they are similar, but they're also very different. Wake up means that your eyes open. All right, so I usually wake up at 7. I wake up at 7. Now, get up. This is more, we are going to physically sit up in the bed. We're going to leave the bed. All right, that's get up. Okay, now the next phrasal verb that I see here, you know, as I said, he's reaching for the alarm clock. So that action, reach. He's reaching for the alarm clock because he is trying to turn it off. All right, so the next phrasal verb here is turn off. Turn off. All right, he's turning off the alarm clock. Now, the fourth phrasal verb that I want to talk about is not really this picture, because in this picture, he's waking up. He will get up after he's turning off his alarm clock. But there is another scene where we don't wake up, we don't get up. There maybe is no alarm clock. So maybe on Saturday and Sunday, we continue to sleep. We continue to sleep. That phrasal verb is sleep in. Sleep in. So it is the opposite of this. In this photo, he is waking up. But if you continue to sleep, it's sleep in. All right, so these 4 phrasal verbs are often used in the morning. Now, if I make a sentence, I wake up at 7. I get up at 7:05. I turn off my alarm clock. On Sunday, I sleep in. Okay, so now let's look at the next picture. Now, after I wake up, after I get out of bed, I'll go and brush my teeth. And the next action is this. All right, now, some of you are probably like me. You wear contact lenses. Now, the phrasal verb for this is put in contact lenses. We put in the contact lens. We're not going to put on the contact lenses. We put it in. We're putting it into our eye. All right, so I put in my contact lenses. Now let's look at the next photo. The next photo here. After I put in my contact lenses, after I take a shower, the next thing I need to do is, I need to find clothes. All right, so in this photo, if we look, the verb, the phrasal verb for this one is pick out. Pick out. I pick out something to wear. I pick out something to wear. I will pick out a t-shirt. I pick out jeans. I pick out clothes. Pick out means you're selecting, you're choosing the clothes that you will wear. Now we've moved on to the next photo. And in this photo, after we pick out the clothes, then we will put on. We put on clothes. All right, so the action of wearing them, putting your arms in, putting it over your head, putting your pants, we say put on. Now, another phrasal verb that has the same meaning, right? So we can say put on clothes. Another phrasal verb we can say is get dressed. Get dressed. It has the same meaning. So put on clothes equals get dressed. Now, the opposite of this, the opposite of put on clothes, it will be take off clothes. Take off clothes. So in the morning, I pick out my clothes, I put on my clothes, or I get dressed. Then in the evening, I return home. Before I maybe take a bath or take a shower, I take off my clothes. Okay, so those are the first 9 phrasal verbs that we use when we talk about our morning routine. How are they? Do you understand everything? Remember, if you have any questions, leave them down below. I will always answer any of your questions or comments. And also right now, what I'd like you to do, if you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe. It's completely free. Also, give this video a like. Okay, do that now. Hit the like button and hit the notification bell as well. All right, let's go over the last half of the list. Okay, so let's look at all of these in sentences now. So I put in my contact lenses. After that, I pick out my clothes. I put on the clothes, or I get dressed. Now, let's look at the next photo. In this photo here, you can see there is some eggs. There is a tool here. That tool is called a whisk. A whisk. We use a whisk to whip things or to beat things. All right, so If you're going to make whipped cream, you know, that action is whip. And that is our next phrasal verb. The next phrasal verb here is whip up. Whip up. Whip up means to make something quickly, to make some type of food quickly. So for my routine, after I get dressed, I whip up breakfast. I whip up breakfast. I whip up an omelet. I whip up some eggs. Now, I want to look at the word up in this situation. We will often use this preposition, whip up. So, what is the difference between whip and whip up? They are very similar. If you don't use the up, that's fine. But there is one difference. Whenever I use the word up, so whip up, it has the nuance, it has the feeling that something is done completely. You've completely finished it. Whereas without the up, maybe you're still doing it. So whip up breakfast means I completely finish making the breakfast. And we often use this word up. It's used a lot. You sound a little bit more casual, but you sound more like a native speaker if you use this preposition. And there are many examples of this. Some of the really common examples when we're talking about food, it might be to heat up, warm up, fry up, grill up, toast up, chop up, slice up, eat up. These are all really, really useful phrasal verbs. It makes you sound more natural. It makes you sound more like a native speaker, but it has the feeling that something is completed. So there is a huge list of very useful phrasal verbs here. For me, my sentence, after I get dressed, I whip up some breakfast. I whip up some breakfast. Now let's look at the next photo here. After breakfast, I will do the dishes. I'll do the dishes. After I do the dishes, after I dry them, this is what I do. This is called put away. Put away. So I put the dishes away. Or I put away the dishes. This is a great phrasal verb that we can use in many situations. In this situation, I'm putting away dishes. So I put away dishes. But anytime you have to return something to its original location, then we use put away. So I will put away the dishes. I'll put away the groceries. So I go to the supermarket, I buy groceries, I bring them home. Then they have their location. It's probably in the refrigerator, in the pantry. I put away the groceries. I put away the vacuum cleaner. So I'm going to vacuum my house, then I put away the vacuum cleaner. Children will put away their toys. After they play with toys, they put them away. So for my morning routine, after I whip up breakfast, I'll eat it, I'll do the dishes, then I put away the dishes. I put away the dishes. Okay, now let's look at the last photo here. This last photo is when I leave. I'm going to work, or maybe you're going to school. For me, I go to work. So the phrasal verb I'll use here is head out. Head out. All right, so I head out to work. I head out to work. That means I'm going to work. I'm leaving my house. Okay, so next, I do want to give you one more. This is an extra one. This has the same meaning as head out. Head out means to leave, means to go to work, go to school. Another phrasal verb that we can use has the same meaning is set off. Set off. I set off to work. I head out to work. I could also include the time. I head out to work at 8 a.m. I set off to work at 8 a.m. Okay, so those were all of the phrasal verbs for my morning routine. And I think most of these are probably your morning routine as well. Now, we've learned 20 plus an extra one. If you have any questions about any of these phrasal verbs, make sure you ask me in the comment section. Also, if you liked today's lesson, if you learned something, if you've learned 20 phrasal verbs, then do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. It's completely free. Also, give me a thumbs up and hit that notification bell. Today, we're learning 20 phrasal verbs, but we're using photos. It's so much easier to remember vocabulary if we see the image of it. Now here, I showed you a bunch of photos as well. I want you to also imagine yourself doing it. And also, tomorrow morning when you wake up, I want you to review all of these phrasal verbs. All right? Make sentences, speak out loud. You're going to say things like, I wake up at 7. I get dressed. I pick out clothes. I put on clothes. I whip up breakfast. Try using all of the phrasal verbs in all of my example sentences. All right, guys, until the next time. See ya. Thank you very much for watching today's lesson. Today, we learned 20 phrasal verbs that will help you speak about your morning routine. If you like today's lesson, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and hit that notification bell. Also, don't forget to share this with your friends and family. Until the next lesson, see ya.